Now to more evidence of the world gone mad. Have you heard of IDAHOBIT Day? IDAHOBIT Day. It's a thing. Well, it's recognised by the European Parliament, so it must be a thing, right? Can't be long till our woke parliaments in Australia do the same, because some local councils are already hosting events linked to this. I'll explain that in a moment, but first I hear you asking, what is IDAHOBIT Day? Well, it started as Idaho Day, an initiative pushed by organisations such as the International Lesbian and Gay Association, the World Congress of LGBT Jews, and the Coalition of African Lesbians. These are real organisations, by the way, I'm not making them up. And their aim was fair enough. Idaho started as the International Day Against Homophobia. Homophobia is horrible, so good, oppose it. And then, as is the way in this space, they started adding letters. So IDAHOBIT Day is now the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia and Transphobia. It happens in May this day, and instead of wearing white ribbons or orange ribbons, this day encourages the wearing of rainbows. OK, well, you know, there are so many days these days, and most of them are all about virtue signalling, because I don't think anyone is supporting or encouraging or even tolerating homophobia or transphobia. But the reason I mention this is that some local councils, woke and activist as they so often happen to be, well, they're getting right into this. In the Oakleigh Library, part of the Monash Council in suburban Melbourne, they're having an IDAHOBIT Day event next month. And it's a kids' book reading event, yes, 1 to 6 year olds. And it's hosted by a drag queen, Sam T. Yeah, it's a drag story time at the local library. And remember, this is for kids aged 1 to 6 years. These are preschoolers and very early primary school kids, and the event is specifically focused on the drag queen reader with a book that apparently will include queer characters of one kind or another. On Melbourne radio, Sam T has expressed surprise that anyone would see anything controversial about this storytime session.
I understand that there and they have your opinions, but if your kids aren't involved, then why kick up a stink? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. Like, there's nothing sexual about it. We're bringing, like, imagination to the children. So I can understand how some people might have that thought of, you know, we talked about this last time with Drag Bingo, that people have this idea that drag queens are sexual predators. Like, that's just because it's a lack of understanding. Like, if people take their kids to these events, or just, like, I don't know, try and educate themselves. Like, I'm not pushing it down anyone's throats. The people know what they're going for, and the parents booked in for a reason. Like, you know what I mean?
Look, I just don't think our kids need this, right? It seems to me that kids just need to enjoy books and stories at their local library, not get into any sort of social engineering or much less focused on IDAHOBIT Day. I mean, I hardly think that toddlers are homophobes. Still, parents are choosing to sign their kids up to this. No one is forcing them, so you tell me. I'd argue that local councils shouldn't get involved in promoting this sort of thing. They should focus on roads, rates and rubbish and maybe lowering their costs. And here's a radical idea for the library. Just have story time every day with a variety of readers. Teach kids to read, to enjoy books. That's your role. Leave the virtue signalling, the preaching and the sanctimony and the promotion of gender and sexuality diversity to others on their own time, on their own dollars.